Every time they see the cart, even though they don't see it too often, just because of the area that they're in, they're like, oh, that's the Coco Cherry Mango. And it like just brings that connection to them, even if they don't have access to it. Now, I mean, capitalism thrives, right? So like they want to push this individualism, this, if I can do it, you can do it, but you're gonna do it solo.
People that this was their business. They made it at home, and they bring back a lot of the taste from the islands. Some of them are not cherry. They taste like frambuesa, which is a different type of cherry that we
just like unlock the memory of like, they just give such richness to the city. Like you can literally have hala and have your coquito cart and have a pastelito in the corner. Like all of that can live within the same block.
You need at least $120,000
just to sustain. If it at least just sparks conversation or even sparks that bridge, then I've already done my job.
And this is how we want to educate kids to be good friends and good like global citizens. I think that's the term schools use.
Yes,
global citizens.
That's the only way you're gonna
know.
You're gonna want to. If you want your children to be empathetic and to be understanding, they have to learn about a different culture.
The way you're leading and teaching, it's so impactful, not only to me as a friend, and maybe I'm having a hard time saying this. I see you more as like Hi everyone, my name is Luz Maria Mack. I'm a Dominican children's book writer, and welcome to The Missing Book. The Missing Book is dedicated to highlighting not only writers, authors, the inspiration behind their literary works. We do know that every story has a purpose, every story has a message, and we want to highlight those messages that often get overlooked. So without further ado, I need to do a special like little hot air hug, because this person is someone I love, someone I bother, someone that my Scorpio energy comes out really strong, and I'm very possessive of her, so that says a lot. Without further ado, my good friend Jennifer.
Hello, that was such a beautiful introduction. You're trying to make me sob early on.
I'm not trying to, but it's like I was so looking forward to this.
Me too. It's been on my calendar. It's been on my wall. It's been on the kitchen calendar for the kids. I'm busy today.
I want to say I love you so much, because I could be silent, I could be boisterous, and I could be myself around you. And I love you. And I'm so proud that you're in this literary journey with me. And I'm proud that I get to interview you, not only because of our love friendship, but the fact that you understand why this is so important.
And the love goes right back at you. I love that we've already had our own podcast through our voice notes throughout the week. So I feel like that could just be an episode if we want to wrap it up right now. But I love that we can talk books. We can talk writer's journey. We can talk motherhood. We can talk being a wife in the Bronx. Like there's so many things that we can chat about.
There's so many.
So I'm just grateful for this space.
Yes, but okay. So Jen, can you tell us in your own words who you are, what you do, and why did you start writing? I know why, but I'm already having like all these feels, and this is not what I intended to do. What I intended to do is sound like the best professional era of myself and looking like the best like badass mamacita. But right now you're making me feel like, yes, my friend is here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of all of it. You are all those things, so just embody it, just take it. But yes, I'm Jen Cruzado. I am a Bronx mama too, Harlem girl through and through. I've been an educator for 15 plus years, still work in the education space in different capacities. I've been a teacher, I've been a leader, and now I get to coach different administrators across the Bronx and Upper Manhattan and even in Queens now. And I started this writing journey, and I'm so grateful to have you not only as a thought partner, but kind of like a guide, a muse, pick my brain in the middle of the night. I have this idea, how can I make it actually live and come to life?
And not to jump off the bridge while we have the idea.
Always teetering. But then you have someone like Luz who can bring you right back on. And this book baby actually just had its book birthday, but I was away and didn't get to post about it because I had no service. But it's a book baby, book birthday from Coco Cherry Mango, which is just right on time for the summertime. So right on brand, right on time to enjoy Harlem, enjoy a coquito while you're out there.
Before you read your book, I want to say two things because I think before you read your book, we need to talk about how we met. So Jen was posting on social media. Her videos made it to my, I guess, For You or whatever. I reached out and said, hey, let me tell you about my work. You have my books already. So in essence, there wasn't no need to tell you about my work because you had my
They were
book.
on our girls' bookshelves already.
I had it and was waiting to get the second. But I said like, hey, let me tell you about self-publishing, right? So we have this call. I show you my pitch deck. And there was a moment where I stopped because I'm like, this is my person. And I don't know when it clicked for you, but it clicked for me really soon. And then you said, I want to write a book. How was that for you? Meeting someone, una loca, that you had their book.
Not a loca, but someone who's equally as passionate as me. So right away, like I work with energy. So not to be too woo-woo, I can tell right off the bat if I'm going to click with someone or I'm not. I'll be completely professional and keep it a buck and we can work together. But that doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to have like a friendship with you or be like very close with you.
But those clicks don't happen at our age that much.
They can if you like are very in tune with like who you are. And like you said, we started off very professional. We were discussing your pitch deck, kind of understanding your why, your journey, your process through motherhood and writing. Not only one, but like a collection, a series throughout these years. And then it just really just clicked. Like we have so much in common and there's so much work to continue to do. And it was like, oh, this is someone that I can mess with. This is someone that I can like build with. And then just through constant interactions, it becomes even more personal. Now we can share things about our lives and like our journeys just as women, which I'm just really, really grateful to just have you as a partner in that.
Yeah. And through that conversation, I think I never told you right off the gate, you're going to be a great storyteller. Like I never said it. And it wasn't because of friendship. It was just because you understood a lot of frameworks that needed to happen in order for a book to do all the things it needs to do for a child. You said, if it needs to be a culturally relevant book, what does culturally relevance mean? What am I teaching? What's the grade level? And this is where like your educational repertoire comes into play, like really big. And then you understood already like the layout. You had that design aesthetic that most writers lack, including myself. You're like, if I open a spread is 2 pages, does it flow? Like, does it flow cohesively? So again, I could go on and on about what you caught really fast, but it has a lot to do with what you believe. In order to be a good writer, you need to be a voracious reader. You don't have to be a great reader, but you have to just read.
Yeah, and be ferocious and really passionate in it. And I 100% echo. I think my background as an educator from pre-K through 2, like read alouds is the anchor of all of our work, whether I'm teaching a history lesson, even teaching math. We use a lot of read alouds to kind of bridge that gap there and just understanding like the structure, the crafting structure, the author's purpose, all the things that I want my students to be thinking about, that now that I want my girls to be thinking about, pouring that back into a story. Because we also see a lot of stories that you can tell are just like printed very quickly just to get it out there. And I'm like, but if you're actually going to spend time with this book the way I want children to spend time with this book, if we're actually going to spend time with this book the way my girls are like reading it at night, I want them to be immersed and be thinking as they're reading, not just like flipping through pictures just for the sake of it. And it takes that understanding and that reflection, I think, that you also have in your books as well. You're not just telling a story. It's like, what is this going to mean for the student and what are they going to take away from it?
And, I would love for you to read Coco Cherry Mango.
I would love to. This is Coco Cherry Mango, written by me and illustrated by the wonderful Phoenicia, who also just did an amazing job getting the images out of my head and working through all my revisions. So shout out to her and her patience to like get everything out of my brain into these beautiful illustrations.
Yes.
On a scorching day in NYC, you'll find a little coquito cart like me. I'm ready to serve icy treats all day when Alfredo calls, Coco Cherry Mango. We're on our way.
Oh, I'm already thirsty.
I need a hot one out there today. I need one. Welcome to Harlem. Our first stop, Harlem, vibrant and alive with Renaissance ballrooms and the bustling streets that thrive. In Harlem's heat, where the street ballers play, my coquitos will bring a cool start to the day.
And we see the Apollo.
We see some of the amazing illustrations, the crazy 125th bustling streets. We see Rucker Park, where the street ballers are about to start playing soon. And then we wanted to pay homage to the Harlem Renaissance.
Exactly, the Cotton Club.
The Cotton Club and just the essence of what Harlem started with. Among the busy shoppers, historic gems are found. Coco Cherry Mango, Alfredo says, our next stop, Uptown. And we have some wonderful maps that I like to share out with students when I come visit so they can explore the different areas that they go to. So we have some different stops in Harlem that you can check out. Hamilton Heights. In Hamilton Heights, history unveils from Alexander's homes of old to Riverbank's scenic trails. Again, some of my favorite places. I actually went to City College. We have Alexander Hamilton's house and a summer in Riverbank. So many stories that we could tell there.
Oof.
So many stories.
Not enough.
We stroll past the general's final resting stone, a whisper of days gone by. Coco Cherry Mango, our journey continues high. Some more stops that you can check out here in Hamilton Heights. Up, up, up we go, past the Piragua man's call and the sweet habichuela con dulce enjoyed by all. We made our way to Washington Heights. And I love this illustration, just capturing all the different vendors that you might see when you're hitting 181st and all the stops.
I love the A train.
Yes, that's my line. I mean, the one line if I'm visiting like my grandma, but the A line is like straight from Harlem.
Yeah.
So 181st and so many wonderful street vendors that make our culture so rich. In the Heights, there's so much to explore. At Fort Tribune Park is where the Lenape spirits soar. Within the cloister's walls, there are wonders to be seen. This is where art and nature and history convene. Definitely a nice day to check out the cloisters, an extension of the Met, and it's right in our backyard, so we should take advantage of it. We always find the perfect spot amidst the hustle and the flow. Once the dembow starts to beat low, Coco Cherry Mango, it's time for us to go. Some more great spots for us to visit. United Palace, of course, the train station on 191st, all the beautiful artwork, Quisqueya Plaza. The sun sets slowly and the final scoops are sold. Fun-filled trips of rainbow cups or combo of flavors if you're bold. It's one of my favorite pages. Love the bright colors. The George Washington Bridge sparkles in the night. One final Coco Cherry Mango until we spread more joy in the morning light. And our journey ends right next to the George Washington Bridge and enjoying one on a wonderful stoop.
Oh my God, that's
Thank
so
you.
beautiful. You took me back to my own childhood.
I love that. That's what I wanted. Bring that essence of what it's like enjoying Uptown and your
Yeah.
family and your culture and the music.
Yeah,
Just lives in those neighborhoods.
like sticky summer nights.
Yes, that haziness
Hazy.
of a summer day, right?
Yeah, like not wanting to leave the park, but you know those when the
The street lights
lights
turn on, you
are-
better start walking.
Yeah, because someone's gonna be like, "Donde tú estás?"
And ain't no cell phones back then, so you better start walking fast, make it back to your stoop.
So Coco Cherry Mango to me is special for many reasons, as it is for you. But I think is the only book that plays an homage to Harlem, Uptown, and like all these iconic places. Why is that? Why haven't we seen that in traditional publishing?
I mean, doing my own research and, of course, teaching in New York, we actually do a lot of units about New York City. It's like a part of any like early
Yeah.
elementary education. But when you get those read aloud from traditional publishers or even from your district's curriculum, they always focus on downtown as if the Empire State Building is the only thing.
Like it's the
that-
only
it's
historical
the
thing.
All we have is like Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, Chrysler Building. Great, you've seen New York.
You've seen it all.
You've seen it all. Welcome.
Or Macy's.
Yeah, like 34th Street, Herald Square.
Yeah.
Like you see those iconic places, and yes, those are beautiful places. Our children should be like actively exploring those neighborhoods, but there's so much richness in other parts of New York that never get highlighted, I would say, in a positive way. because my students have always been from Harlem, from the Bronx. Even at one time I was on the Upper West Side, and they only get to see Harlem uptown in almost negative lights when you see things that happen on the news. But it's like
Yes.
an oversight of what is actually happening in those neighborhoods. I grew up in Harlem. I went to school in Harlem. So it would be like the Harlem Renaissance was this booming time. Look at all this great progress that was made. And then it stopped in 1930. And it's like, that's not true.
That's not true because people went forward and
like
did
we
more.
didn't just stop.
We did more. Like 125th hasn't changed a lot, by the way. Like it's changed in
It's changed,
in
but-
essence about like having like more of like the big companies now,
the gentrification,
and things like that. But meaning like the people are still there.
And the grassroots organizations that are still trying to keep this alive, right? Like keep these traditions alive. And even growing up in Harlem myself, we would walk past these historical places and not really pay mind to it. Like I literally spent my summers in Hamilton Heights because that's where my grandparents live. And I would walk past Alexander Hamilton's house every single day, but like it would just be like something else. And not until you're older and can like appreciate it. And it's like, I have history right here, like at my fingertips, not just a Broadway musical. That's one of my favorites, but like literally I can go here if I want to, right? There's like Native American history right in the park that I go to all the time. Like, let's learn more and let's get our students curious about those places and curious to explore their own neighborhoods. There's so much richness there.
So I went to school, City College, and I love the fact that you touched that on the book. But I think like one of the things that was missing, and this is how you know in education we do need to do more. Some students, I mean, like I'm talking about 80s, 90s, early 2000s, they do not even visit colleges that are like right in your backyard. City College is one of them. It's the perfect like tour that the kids could take, and it's an iconic place in Harlem, right? So when your book does that,
beautiful campus.
But that's my point. Your book does that already. It's telling kids, hey, there's a college right behind your backyard.
Right, literally in your backyard. I would see my friends play basketball and soccer right on 138th, and it's like if you literally pivot your body, the college is right there.
Just turn.
Literally just turn, and there is City College. Like a wonderful campus that is open for you to explore with a great library. Actually, it has a library for like Dominican American heritage.
Yeah, the Dominican Student
Institute.
DSI.
Yeah.
DSI.
Like
yeah,
where I
think
first
it's
started
called.
taking my Dominican American like studies program was there. So like it's right there for you to access, but we overpass it and just like don't even value what's there. And it's not to a fault of ourselves. It's just like I think it comes with this age and appreciation and just exposure too.
I think it's more to do with that. I also think like and again, I'm not trying to say this to ruffle any feathers, but I do think like a lot of our CUNY systems need to do more. And because if you want to promote the schools that are in your backyard, leadership could be inviting schools over. They could do those things by like organizing a class trip,
There's an elementary school that I went to literally right on 134, like one block away.
Like
so invite them there.
Let them see like there's a lot of beautiful architecture. A lot of people didn't know that in City College, it's one of the few medical school programs that is specifically for, I think, BIPOC students. That
and the engineering program had a free like, facelift 15 years ago.
Yeah. So I think your book, although it mentions City College by just the image of it alone, is doing what a lot of things are not doing, promoting higher education. And I think that's like not only like a compliment to you, but knowing that you're still a teacher and you're trying to tell your students, there's a lot in your backyard that you don't know. Please think about the future that you will one day have to do and go forth and act on it. And I want to know, with this in mind, what is your future and of other books that you want to touch on?
Me and Phoenicia always joke back and forth online, and it's like, so what borough are we hitting up next? Because she's a Brooklyn girl, so she's like, when are we gonna shout out Brooklyn? No. And I'm like, I'm a Harlem girl, I can't. But
I felt it because like Brooklyn has so much.
It's so vast. So I'm like, how are we gonna capture it in 20 to 32 pages of a children's book?
And
right?
Brooklyn has changed.
I mean, so has Harlem, but like we had to. a big part was that I wanted to capture what it felt like in the 90s and early 2000s because like walking through the streets of Harlem, it doesn't exactly look like this anymore.
Yeah.
But specifically for my daughters, when they asked me what was summer like, I wanted to kind of capture that essence, kind of like bottle it up for them in here. So we can always do like a retro throwback of what it felt like to be in Brooklyn at that time.
Or the Bronx.
And now I'm in the Bronx. I've been in the Bronx for over 10 years and my girls are from the Bronx now. So kind of capturing.
I got 10 years more on you. I'm
I
20. I got 20.
When they moved us from uptown and moved us to the Bronx,
I was like, the rent is cheaper here.
we have to go to the Bronx now. But this is like the Bronx is my girls' backyard now, right?
Yeah.
So like the places that I'm exploring that they're growing up with is different. So highlighting that as well. So when I wrote this, essentially, I didn't even think of it like as an arc of a series, but like through everyone's interest, as I go visit schools, even in districts that are not familiar with like uptown environment, that they're just curious now to like explore it. It just makes me so excited. And like, what else can we highlight? So,
oh, you didn't share that. So if your book brought conversation and how to give back to our communities, and they're seeing that in Harlem, what are they doing? Are they just reading the book, or how can we reinvest in our communities? Are those conversations taking place, or like
they're happening they're happening in early childhood centers. So I've done like readings on the Upper East Side or like independent schools on the Upper West Side. And while it's just a train stop away from Harlem, it's very vast and very different community wise. So like a lot of kids hadn't even seen like a coquito cart.
I know.
So they're just like, are you sure this is in New York? I'm like, yeah, baby, just one stop away. Just get on the train and you'll be right there. But just having them make those like connections of how they can relate to it in a different way, or like how they've seen it in their own cultures or in their own neighborhoods, and just piquing their interest, or even like wanting to ask their parents about these neighborhoods is just a great step already, because now they're expanding their horizons besides the 5-block perimeter of the Upper West Side, right? There's so much more to explore, and it's a great opportunity to do that with a sweet treat with your family. So go enjoy it.
So I wanted to ask you this, and I didn't tell you because I wanted to surprise you with this.
Me.
So how do moms, like the moms that don't want their kids to eat sugar, how do they respond to the book? Because Coco Cherry Mango, we have a lot of moms that are like ultra like, oh, my child is allergic to this. They cannot have sugars. This is just like, this is probably unhealthy. We don't know if that little coquito cart has an A. Remember, in our time, the coquito cart, like no one cared how that got made. We just cared about getting some. And it used to be a quarter.
I remember. It is not anymore. My girls, it's literally like $3 for 2 scoops after school every day.
And when we said, I'm saying the quarter with the heart, because you felt it on your chest. My whole thing is like, have you had anyone ever say like, oh no, you're promoting something that we don't
I haven't, but I also know that it is your job as a parent to do what's best for your child. So if you know that your child is allergic to something, then don't actually like give them that thing that's going to harm them. I would not, if my kid's allergic to peanuts, I'm going to be like, here's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like enjoy. But you can find your own alternatives and still expose them to that culture. So
Thank you.
Bring your own icy that you made sherbet at home. Great. Go explore Washington Heights together with your homemade ices that you've purchased, right?
But this is why we're having this conversation, right? There's so many ways to parent. There's so many ways to like show culture and things like that. And I love that you didn't alter the Coco Cherry Mango experience, because everyone loves it. And we still see it in the Bronx, predominantly in the Bronx. And it's usually in communities of color that they still keep that alive. In the Upper East Side, you don't see that. In the Upper West Side, you don't see that.
You don't.
You don't see it here by Harold's. You don't see that.
No, the cart's not going to be there, but you can still experience the environment there and at least like recognize it. I was in Westchester at a birthday party yesterday, and I've read it to my daughter's class before. So now every time they see the cart, even though they don't see it too often, just because of the area that they're in, they're like, oh, that's the Coco Cherry Mango. And it like just brings that connection to them, even if they don't have access to it as much, but it like rings to them and they want to feel connected to it. So if it at least just sparks conversation or even sparks that bridge, then I've already done my job.
Yeah. And I'm not, so there's 2 things that I also wanted to share. So when I was growing up, I knew a lot of people that this was their business, and they made it at home. And they bring back a lot of the taste from the islands,
Mm-hmm.
some of them are not cherry. They taste like frambuesa, which is a different type of cherry that
Yeah,
we
you just like unlock the memory of like a
yeah.
neighbor that we had who like would make her own like ices. Not so much a Coco Cherry
Cherry-
Mango
but
icy,
it was-
but like in the little like plastic and like freeze it.
They-
We would go to her apartment to
and
go
buy it.
But it tastes like a different, tastes like the island, just
yeah.
tastes different.
Or some of them made it coco con batata.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm talking about this, because I was born in Dominican Republic, raised in Washington Heights, which I'm so grateful that you wrote this book because it does touch a lot on Washington Heights. But I think people forgot, like, how did the coquito came to be?
Mm-hmm.
And although you didn't discuss it, you're showing it, and I think that's cute. And I know the cart is the cutest thing. It's just kind of like it's kind of like the logo for the book, but also like so. For those that don't know, many individuals that do the Coco Cherry Mango do come from Caribbean culture and not only bring a lot of the taste of the islands to infuse in the icy, but like a lot of them, this was their only jobs when they weren't hired at restaurants, when they weren't hired at bodegas, when they weren't hired at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was before like having a vendor license and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So knowing that, who was the person that you knew that inspired you to write this book?
Not necessarily who inspired me to write this book, because like I grew up in Harlem, so seeing Coquito Cart on Broadway was just like normal to us. Seeing Mr. Coolman, the ice cream truck, come in, like you see the same vendors, and that's why it's so important whenever I go to any locations or schools to read my book. I don't go straight into reading it. I really talk about the importance of street vendors, because I feel like they're like the heartbeat of New York City and like the real taste of New York City.
And you barely see them.
And now you barely see them. There's a lot of like roadblocks and restrictions because of licensure, which of course we need them for like safety wise. But they just give such richness to the city. Like you can literally have hala and have your coquito cart and have a pastelito in the corner. Like all of that can live within the same block, which is something that I really wanted to highlight, because they really are like the pulse of that hustle of New York.
I agree. And that's why I want to touch on it, because of like right now our cultural climate, our presidential climate, there you see less vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's that fear right outside right now.
It's an outside fear. And I think because of the outside fear now, we don't know what those individuals are doing for work, how they're sustaining their family. And we see a decline in our communities of like bringing back cultural elements to it. So I'm so happy that your book touches on that. And also an ode to the commercial corridors. By the way, during my day job, I have the experience to know that most business owners that open a brick and mortar, they don't last not even 2 years.
Absolutely.
They bite the dust even before the end of that year.
It's hard to compete.
Yeah. You need at least $120,000
just to sustain. And
Just
that's not even paying yourself a lot of the time.
That's not the overhead. That's not the staff. That's not the compliance. That's not like
a lot of the time, that's just your rent. That's just like to sustain the brick and mortar. So like, it's really important that, yes, it's easy to just go on Uber Eats and get like something that's just quick, right? But it's really supporting like your local vendors and supporting your community and doing things within your community that can make it thrive. Because at least when we were growing up, like you had the same bodega man, right? Like he was the same person throughout for years. I mean, they were my cousin's aunt and uncle, so I saw them all the time. But
do you remember I was doing this book reading, and I was going to touch on this, and I'm glad like this is flowing so naturally. We did a book reading with Word Up. I read Maria Descubre su baile, Maria Discovers her dance, and after that we went to eat, and it was on 218th Street, and we sat on the back, and your daughter was there with the el coche and you, and we were just talking, and I said, this used to be my dad's bodega.
Yeah.
And we were sitting where he kept the bread. And I found out later how much that place pays for rent.
I bet.
It was like,
I bet it's right next to the park. It's like,
I told my dad he sold it for nothing because it wasn't making money back then.
And then that's what they want. Like so many brownstones even in Harlem that were like tore down systematically. They wanted it to look tore down,
but it's
so that no one can afford to buy them. Nobody would want to like
Yes.
building, but now millions of dollars later.
Yes, because now like that restaurant that we sat on,
Mm-hmm.
that I had like the biscuits and gravy with the
A
bacon.
very gentrified restaurant, I might say. I do love it there, but it's very gentrified. It doesn't look,
Yes.
I'm
And
sure, like the bodega you grew up in.
I remember that the back, the guys would play dominoes when daddy was doing stuff, and like everyone knew I was his kid and this and that, and I will be playing like stocking the bags of chips. But honestly, we were barely surviving off of that bodega. And I don't say that to like people to take pity, but
No,
like it's
but
just
your community also probably like thrived because you guys had that bodega. Because so many times I remember my grandma sending me downstairs and like, buy un peso de plátano and put it on a tab. Like I'm not even paying with cash. Like I'm just literally saying, Rosa, I need to buy this. My grandma will come at the end of the month and pay. But you had that confianza because you are that community.
But that's my point. So because we don't have that like type of business that is centered in family and community, what is the business that you see predominantly taking place now?
Now, I mean, capitalism thrives, right? So like they want to push this individualism, this if I can do it, you can do it, but you're going to do it solo.
Yes.
And that's not really how societies thrive at all. And coming from Latino communities, coming from the Caribbean, coming from uptown, we thrived in the worst situations through finding joy, through working together.
Mm-hmm.
Harlem was known for in the 30s, 40s, up to the 60s, having like rent parties. You couldn't afford it. Since we doing a block party, we all going to pay your rent. Like there's so many now rich books about rent parties because they were working together to support each other. And that work is still happening. It's still happening through grassroots organizations. It's still happening with me trying to build a free little library in the Bronx, right? It's finding and building a community with peers like yourself, making connections with each other to really highlight our passions and highlight what our communities really have in store.
And perfect. I'm so glad we segued to where I wanted to head to, because I know the new Coco Mango Cherry is not looking like the way it used to look, but it's still there and we have to support. And now you have opened up we unlocked a new level of Jen, you guys. We've
leveled up.
We leveled up. There's a free library. And tell us, how did that start? What did we notice in order to make this happen?
Well, I don't think it's a surprise anymore. The Bronx is like a book desert. It's not surprising. We had that one Barnes & Noble's and Bay Plaza, which is now, I think it's like Saks on Fifth.
It's Saks on Fifth, correct.
Saks on Fifth now. So like our closest Barnes and even Barnes & Noble's in Manhattan are getting shut down too. Yeah. So now like our closest ones, I believe there's one on the Upper West Side because the one on 86 just closed down, which would be the closest one if you're on the 6th line like us. Or we're going to Scarsdale, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing for us to really purchase. Luckily, now we have some more like brick and mortars who are trying to make it. Like I know the Lip Bar is in the South Bronx, so that we're seeing little like pop-ups.
We have Nefer. I haven't stopped by.
I haven't stopped by yet, but I've seen it.
And I support it, especially because Nefer, like I think they're doing a lot to make sure that they get all the diverse books possible, which I really
appreciate.
I really appreciate. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think they really also care if it's traditionally published or self-published.
No, I think they just want to get the word out, make sure that it's inclusive and that it fits with their brand, right? Like their sense of community. So shout out to them for bringing those opportunities and the opportunities for indie writers as well to like get seen and hopefully have people fall in love with their books while enjoying a good drink with their families there. But the free little library came from me 2.5 years ago. I was at the park with my girls and they were running around. I always have a book with me. I have my Kindle right now. Like I always have something to read while they're playing around. And when we were walking out, I'm pushing my stroller and I was like, it would be so dope that if there was just a free little library here. Like, and I literally just recorded a video really quick while I'm pushing the stroller down the block. And I'm like, does anybody know how to do this? Like, how do we even get started? Because I see them on the Upper West Side. I see them in suburbs. They're on my For You page. But like, how do I get one in the Bronx? Does anybody know? And people were like, that will be so dope. How can we help you? I'm like, I don't know. How can you help me?
Video. I had never seen it. I think
it's a really green. It's literally me walking, pushing a stroller. It's not a pretty, like any kind of video. It's just like, how can I do this? Anybody know?
Because I think we became friends after that video. Mm-hmm. But then you made the little library happen, and I never told you this. People DM me saying, I know you know her. Oh. I'm like, how do you know I know her?
It's like a really grainy, bad video because I didn't think anybody was going to watch it. I was just like, how do I do this? Does anybody know how I can get started? And I've seen that it's easy to do it if you're doing it in your own backyard. So if I'm putting it on like in front of my house,
Yes.
or if you own your own business and you're putting it in front, it's your property. So it's easy to just like,
And there's
buy
no
it
rules
yourself.
for
There's
that.
no rules. However, I wanted it to be in the park.
Because that's for the community.
It's for the community. People have access to it. I see how much Pelham Bay Park itself just thrives in the summertime. It really does come alive. It's right next to softball courts where my husband plays. My girls did soccer there in the summer. The dog park is there. The playground is there. There's just like so much
It's the
bustle.
biggest and it's like, I think
it
the
is the
biggest,
biggest park.
in the Bronx. I think so right
Yeah,
now.
I think in New York, I think it surpasses just like the stream itself because it keeps continuing to City Island if you keep walking.
Oh,
the path.
that's right.
So
It does
just keeps
surpass Central Park.
It just keeps going. But like that central location, because it's right at like the epicenter of where everything is in the park, I was like, how dope would it be to be right here on this walkway? So whether you're going to go play softball, go work out, play tennis, go to the playground, walk your dog, pick up a book on your way.
Yeah.
And I used to live right across the street when we were able to have a smaller little place. So I would always just be there tanning and like have my books. So I'm like, how great would this be? But because it's in New York City, because there's so much red tape, it took so much longer than I expected it to go.
Wait, hold on. You posted that video 2 years ago, and the little free library just happened when?
We just got it put up last month, I want to say, because of Bronx News 12. Thank you so much for the extra nudge and push to get it actually up and running. They picked it up in February. And we got it funded really quickly, which I was very, very surprised. I posted the video like, hey, I finally got approved. If you would like to contribute anything, $1, 50 cents, let me know. If not, I'm going to pay for it anyways. But like, if you want to be a part of it, let me know.
I'm so embarrassed the day
Why?
because I said this. So I was like, oh, great. She put her call to action so people could donate. I'm going to wait till payday. And then you're like, we met our goal.
My two close friends said the same thing as well. They were like, sis, and they're educators. They're like, can you wait till the 15th of the month so I can contribute and you want to do it in 12 hours? I was like, I had already been budgeting to pay for it myself just in case. But it was like, people are excited about this. So if you have 50 cents, $1 a book, let's go.
But how much does it cost to do?
To get the actual, it depends on the size that you want to do, the installation post. So all in with like taxes, making sure also because it's their state park, we needed to get it made out of certain materials. It's a lot cheaper if you're just doing like a madera piece of wood that you paint
but
yourself.
then it doesn't last
It
long.
won't last that long because it's in the park. We were restricted to what kind of colors we can choose, so I couldn't do any like funky things. I was even talking to Phanesia. She's like, let's do like really boogie down and paint it. I was like, I can't. I wish. We got to like stick to state park colors.
So what are the state park colors?
So I need like dark grays, dark greens, kind of like you see like the green of like the park when you see like the little park sign, or the grays or blacks or like what are restricted color schemes, even though there's so many fun ones. So if you want to open your own library in front of your house and in front of your own business,
that's a different
go
story.
do the fun ones because they were like so great. But all in, we were about $400-$500. So I also got a separate little shed to attach to it, which we have some bad news. We can't attach the shed. Why? So they said, because it wasn't a part of our initial contract, which took 2 years to get the state's parks department.
Okay, so let's clarify the state parks department.
Yeah. Our initial contract, which took 2 years to process, even though we've had like lovely contacts going back and forth, had only approved the initial shed. Because of overwhelming support and because we had extra donations, I purchased the side shed because like people want more books in the Bronx. So let's do it. We had extra money. Let's put it in there. Unfortunately, they said that we cannot install it because it wasn't a part of the initial proposal. I have asked how can I get the proposal amended so we can add like an appendix to add to it. They said, let's just see how this first year goes before we make any changes.
Can we get some support from our local assembly members or local leaders?
I mean, I haven't reached out because my capacity is
It's only so much.
It's only but so much, but that would be lovely. They have said that they would return it back to me so I can just like have it and then wait for next year to do reapproval for a new proposal. But we have an extra shed, and I know it's been filling up. So if we can get it attached within the next year, they said so far so good. We've been taking good care of it. So let's prove to them that we want this shed built.
So the shed, can it be put in another location?
It can be added to another location. I have another post and I have another shed because we had extra money left over from the donations. I was like, let's get more.
How much did you raise?
I had raised about 500, which covered the extra shed, and it attaches right to the post. So we have an extra post and we have an extra shed. I would love to attach it to our current location, but if we have to wait the year to get another RFP initiated, then let's find another park who might want it and we can install it. It's a little smaller because it is like a side shed. But
Maybe we could think of Crotona.
I was about to say I have a friend who might just want it in Crotona, but
At Crotona Park.
it's a little smaller though because it is a shed. It's not meant to be the full library.
But my concern about Crotona, being from Crotona, is I'm not sure how the whole process
It
goes.
would be a similar process. You would have to find out who is in charge of that specific park.
Yeah.
Because you're not just writing to the full New York City state parks. You have to find out, like I was doing like Pelham Bay specifically and talking to their parks department. So I'm sure Crotona has their own like liaison that we would have to connect with.
Yeah, and then my other thought, if it can't be in Crotona, Pelham is huge. So
It's huge. I'm like, let's put it someplace else. I was
And
like,
that's what I was
anywhere.
going to say. That's what I was going to say. Not only are you increasing access, you're also increasing people to see Coco Cherry Mango and other works.
And other works, and just people just enjoying it.
Yeah.
So many times people are like taking pictures of them, like replacing the books, or just how much love and care that they're putting into it, which is what I really wanted it to really belong to the community. It's not my free little library; it's ours. So please take care of it like it's yours.
So what does that mean? How to take care of our little library?
Just like you would if it's in your own house, right? Like if it's casa ajena, you take care of something.
No, but
you treat it with love. You
but
clean
let's
it
break
up.
it down because recently we had some stickers.
We had some stickers. I know I have to go after this to remove them, but I had to come see you, of course.
Yes.
I wanted to spend some time with you. But just seeing the response to that, and I haven't checked my phone, but just even seeing the comments were really just grounding to me, of people saying like, this just shows how much people really need this and want this. And any kind of like hate or kind of discouragement just really shows like the relevance of why this is important.
Yes.
Because people are enjoying it. And I even had someone DM me and was like, I went yesterday, I like added some more books because I know that you already went, but it was already running low, and it's like constantly running low. So I constantly see people just adding new books. And she was like, it just warmed my heart that the books I just put in, I saw a little girl like run in with her mom to go take a book, and she was so excited for the books that she found. So like they're receiving that joy from their own donations, right? So it goes beyond like what I'm building. It's like that fulfillment and that community that you're building amongst yourselves.
So not only should you be getting the People's Champ Award at Pelham Bay, because think about it. What was the closest pop-up bookstore or library had it not been for the free little library?
Well, always support your local library. So I am an avid goer. I'm like a regular at the Pelham Bay Park branch of the New York Public Library.
But how far,
From the park, it's a little bit of a walk. It's not a far walk from like where I live, but it's like our closest branch. So shout out to my librarians there because you see me all the time. And I'm going to pick up my Hold On Monday, Don't Return It.
But then how many schools are in Pelham?
There's quite a few. There's one big school that's the closest by, I believe that's 71. And then we have a few Catholic schools nearby and some more on the Bruckner, but they're a little bit spread apart. More by like Pelham Parkway, there's more books, but that's a little bit.
So this is my leading question, because we have, I think it's over 7 schools, and one of them is a massive school. And please check me, I'm not from Pelham.
Yeah.
I'm just doing some research.
Do some research, yeah.
So big 7 schools. The Pelham Library is not that close to all of them.
Not to all of them, no. It's like it's very sub-hub. I guess like Westchester Square might be a little bit more central for some people just because of the train route to
But
get
that's
to.
my point. Because it creates a barrier to some, that's why I'm saying the free little library is the perfect medium for people who cannot make it to the library. This is your next free option.
And you also get to build your own at-home library. So like, yes, visit your library. They have so many amazing programs. My daughters participate in so many programs that the libraries offer. But not everyone has access. Books are also very expensive, rightfully so, because authors need to be paid for their work.
Really? Because I work for free sometimes.
I mean, sometimes we have to, but in the world of AI where everyone's just becoming a writer, we do need to get paid for their work, right?
Yeah.
So giving families the opportunity to now build your own library. Like this is a lending library. So add something in and take something that you've been dying to read. I saw Homegoing in there, and that's been on my TBR forever. And I was like, should I take it with me? I was like, no, someone else is going to enjoy that
Yeah.
So I left it in there. But just finding so many gems that you're in there, that's what I want. I want that spark to come, either whether it's an adult, whether it's someone
A child.
who's 90, whether it's someone who's 5, like you can find that book that's going to speak to you. And not every book is for you, right?
No,
But
yeah.
you might find something that's really going to spark this interest and this curiosity. And just by opening the door, you just like open up a gateway to so many opportunities.
No, this is amazing. And I love this conversation, John. And okay, so we talked about the Free Little Library. We talked about Coco Cherry Mango. I know there's another book, and I want you to talk about that other book.
Yes, I have it with me too. We have a few more tweaks to do, but it will be coming out in August. I know you've been pressing me to set a date.
Yes, I'm pressing you to set a date. There's 2 reasons why I'm pressing you to set a date. One is because I always feel you don't know the blessing of you telling the story is delaying on someone's blessing.
You're absolutely right.
So whether the entire world receives it, who cares?
Yeah, that's like with everything.
Who cares, right?
But the story is meant for you to find it.
Yes, the story's meant for you. You will find it. But the story you wrote is specific to a community, a certain community, and I want you to talk about it.
Sure. My next book is coming out in August, date to be determined, but I will shout out to Luz will be the first person, since she's the one who keeps asking me to find out. But it will be in August.
There's a second person asking.
Oh, okay. I gotta find out. But it
Your daughter.
Well, yes, because she reads it all the time. It's like one of her favorite bedtime stories. But it's actually the first book that I had written that has been living on my drive since COVID.
We do this all the time.
It's literally been on my drive.
Yeah.
I tweak it. It's never perfect to me. I'm just like, it just needs one more revision. It just needs one more draft. Let me just send it to one more editor. And my husband's like, just, can you put it out already? Like it's as good. It's perfect. Like put it out in the world.
The story hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. It's just the grammar and the period and let's just
like the one word.
This one word. It's just me.
Flip the pages.
Exactly. It's just me and my own like neurosis going. But it's called Calling All Cucos.
Okay, what is Cuco?
A cuco is a mythical monster, which I put a nice friendly twist to, but it's also a mythical monster in a lot of Caribbean and South American cultures. That's kind of, you don't really know what he looks like or what she looks like, but you know you don't want him coming to this house. And it's a common threat and a common promise that parents make, like, te va a salir cuco, like, don't do that.
That is
it's
true.
Like a warning, like, don't do whatever you're about to do because he's about to come out.
That is true.
And
shout out to every mom and dad who wants to scare us.
Scare us to be like, don't go in that corner.
Yeah.
You don't know what it looks like, but you know it's there.
And then they tell you, duerman bien.
Yeah. Buena noche. There's a cuco there in your closet somewhere, but just be careful. But it's called Calling All Cucos. It's inspired by my oldest, and now my youngest also is obsessed with it. But they've always just loved Halloween so much. They're like spooky by nature. I'm a punk when it comes to anything scary, but they thrive on it. And I have the bravest girls in the world, but sleeping alone was always their first challenge. So they were excited to see a book that kind of captured their love of spooky while also capturing our culture in different ways. So we have some different cucos from different cultures popping in there. I don't want to give too much.
But I kind of want you to at least talk about which cultures are you highlighting through the cucos, because it's important. It's not just
absolutely.
It's not just Puerto Rican culture.
Yeah, so we have El Cuco that comes out. We have some Mexican folklores. We have some Puerto Rican folklores. We have some Dominican folklores as well. But I wanted to kind of capture my culture the most because that is through the lens and that's through the experience that I can speak to.
Which is the most genuine thing you could do.
The most genuine thing I can do. And also a lot of the times Caribbean culture kind of gets scapegoated or I heard someone else speaking about it on another podcast of like how they just assume we're like a monolith of one culture, which is like, that's not necessarily true. So just making sure that I highlight where I come from, and that's just going to be the most genuine and authentic to me, but also give other people opportunities to feel seen and be like, yep, my mom used to say that too.
So I will tell you this one thing. I was serving as a beta reader to, I can't name the company, I can't name the publisher.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they wanted to write about La Llorona. And they're like, in Dominican culture, how does La Llorona present? I'm like, we don't have a Llorona. We have a Ciguapa. And then we also have a Galipote. They're like, ooh, Galipote.
He's in there too.
They're like, what is a Galipote? And I'm like, well, this is what it is.
He's a shapeshifter.
And they're like, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, especially in DR. And they're like, I've never heard of this. And they thought I made it up.
Because like I said, they often think that we're just one monolith of a culture. It's like stamp Latino. It's just this big blank statement. It's like, no, there are variations to us, and that's the beauty of folklore, is where you can find your own version.
But then this is why I say books is the ultimate I want to say it's the ultimate door to cultures and understanding of learning of others, because that person didn't understand Latinidad, not like in a mean way.
No.
But they thought, they really did believe like this was it.
Yeah, this is all. This
or
is
La
all there is.
Chupacabra.
Yeah, this is all there
Yeah, like, you know, like, because it was on the news. It was so sensationalized, these like two common.
Yeah. They're the most told stories.
Yeah, and because they were the most prevalent stories in the news and in like the wider audience, they didn't know about the other stories that really are talked about even more than the ones they thought about.
For them, they're like, oh, that's a very niche thing. And it's like, it's not niche. It's like told across our community.
Yeah.
You just don't either want to learn about them, or you don't have access to learn about them. But we can do that through our books.
Or you don't have access to a Dominican or Puerto Rican or a Cuban or a Venezuelan or blah. The list goes on. Friend,
comma.
Friend that could tell you, this was my experience. And this is how we want to educate kids to be good friends and good, like, global citizens. I think that's the term schools use.
Yes,
global citizens. How
also,
can we
just to build that curiosity? Like, you should want to learn about someone who's different from you. That's the only way you're gonna want to. If you want your children to be empathetic and to be understanding, they have to learn about a different culture.
The reason I'm saying I don't know is because, and I'm going to use the statement, remember when charcuterie, the word charcuterie became like such a big thing?
Yes. I'm scared about where this is about to go.
Yes, you should be. But yet, we all could say charcuterie, but we can't say people's names.
Fair.
Or understand their culture and language, because that should be part of the learning curriculum too.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It wasn't like a mean, where is this going? This is part of what you did with Coco Cherry Mango and calling All Cucos. You're welcoming our culture into the biggest and the wider space that it needs to, and it belongs.
I'm so thankful for those kind of words. But yes, I'm just excited to get it out there for families to read it as their bedtime stories. Yes, they're scary folklores, but of course we made them cute and it had their own little funny twist to them so that your kids can like laugh along with some mythical creatures.
Awesome. Now, I know we're about to wrap up soon, but I wanted to get an idea of, first of all, since these stories, building the little library and the story to come, you know, what is it that you want to be known for? Because I don't think you're just a storyteller and you're just a mom. You're also my friend. But I think, like, for you, like, your message is, it's bolder and it's louder than the one I've heard. Like, sometimes, and maybe I'm having a hard time saying this, I see you more as like a leader, not only a storyteller, because I think you're like, the way you're leading and teaching, it's so impactful, not only to me as a friend, but also how you're doing it with kids. So what do you want people to know about you as a leader and as a storyteller that you are?
That means so much. And I posted recently, and I've told you personally, where I had this kind of epiphany that I like think too small.
Yeah. But I see you as a leader, and this is why I'm challenging you on that. I don't think you're just a storyteller. I think you're the leader. I think you're my leader.
Yeah, I got to start playing big. And that's like a constant conflict with myself of like, no one's going to want this. Like, no one's going to need this.
But that's all of us. But go ahead.
Fair. But when I think about like legacy, to me has to be something that you're building, not just for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like, the reason that people are like legendary or should be considered legendary is because of the imprint that they have made across a group of people. And that could be as small as my classroom when I was just a teacher. Not just a teacher, because a lot of my kids are now, shout out to them, they're in college already, their first year of college, or just got accepted. I just spoke to 2 moms in the past 2 months that their boys just got accepted to college, and I taught those babies how to read, so very sentimental for me. But it's those imprints, right? Those relationships that I still have with those families now that the kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. that's an impact. That's a legacy. The families that I get to interact with every single day, whether that be like the schools that I'm visiting or when I'm doing a read aloud and they're like, thank you for writing this story. I get to show different parts of our community that really matter, that they don't get to see when they flick on the news. And legacy is about our family too, like giving my girls the opportunity. We were talking about sacrifice before we started shooting.
Because it is a sacrifice.
It is. Like, they had to go to grandma's house yesterday because I knew I had to be here early, and we had like a full packed day. They were excited to go to grandma's house, that they loved going there. But that also means that I'm missing something. The house didn't get cleaned this morning as thorough as it needed to be, because I wanted to do something for myself, but I think it's important.
And you need something for yourself.
For your children to see that you have passions and that you are going after it. That's also legacy, right? My girls see that I go after the things that I want, and I'm passionate about the things that I want, and that I'm very like 10 toes down in my beliefs, and I will fight to make them happen. And that is legacy also, because they're watching every single thing. And I mean, your daughter's in college already, and she's making her own path and journey in the world, but she has your voice in the back of her head.
She does, but I have to admit, just like you're not doing this alone, you have support like through your husband, your family, extended family, and things like that. What I do know is that I told her, none of this would matter if you're not getting anything out of it. If you're not doing something positive.
Your joy? Yeah, where's
because
your joy?
If you don't have joy, just walk away. Tomorrow's a new day, you know? And also, this is a conversation I had with another friend who's actually a work colleague. We were talking about someone at my job that they had like a huge following and presence, but in real life, they're not the person people go to learn. And it's not like
that's not a dig.
It's not a dig, but she doesn't like teaching people, you know, that person, whatever. And I kept saying like, that's kind of like a wake up call to be like, wow, this person is really good. Like that person could be very good at some things, but not good at another. So what the impact and the legacy, you're doing it all the time. Every time you touch someone, because people do leave like that, they learn something from you, they leave better. And I think that's the big win.
And I think that's also why we connected so much. Like, both of us are not gatekeepers.
No.
Like, if something is working and you DM me and you need help, I'm like, let's hop on a call. Yeah. Here you go. Here's my draft. Like, someone just said they wanted to open up their own free little library.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a template for you. These are all the people that I called. Let's find the ones from like, we're not gatekeepers. We want to spread this joy and spread our passion across anyone who needs support. And I think that's also why we clicked so well, because we're not going to be like, we want the success and it's like, how can we continue to build on
because this is already what we're seeing in an industry that doesn't like
want us here,
want to see the work we do, but also don't want to amplify our voices. Because I had this happen on Thursday. I bumped into a colleague that I have from another group that I told him, hey, I got a list of all the schools citywide, the contacts of who we could reach, but just, you know, a warning, although you pitch to them doesn't mean that they're going to respond, because there's budget cuts, there's this. So we're having this conversation and they grab my hand. They're like, so how much do you want for this list? I'm like, I'm just going to email it to you. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm just sharing this with you. And again, it's not probably going to open any door, but if I have it, I'm going to give it to you.
So the person was telling me, no, you don't understand, Luz. Someone was charging me X amount of dollars. And I'm like, dude, I don't think that person got everyone to contact them either. Like, this is like free. You could Google a lot of it, or it's hard to put that list together, but it's something that I say, you either have to drive to go for it and share it, or you do not. And it's up to you. With that being said, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for sharing the nuggets. I want to thank you for being my friend.
Always.
And I want to thank you for writing.
And I want to thank you for listening to my rants as I'm getting my kids ready in the morning, my extensive voice notes as I'm brainstorming a new idea, and just the constant push of like, we got this.
And we're going
to do it. It's going to get done.
To close, I think that's the message. You got this.
We got this. Thank you, Liz.